Okay, so the dirty truth about 5-string basses. There's an outrageous number of people who play 5-string basses who don't even use the B string. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down why it happens. I'm also going to be giving you 5 reasons why you might want to play a 5-string bass. I'm also going to be giving you a few reasons why you might not want to play a 5-string bass. Oh, and really quick, before we go any further, I just want to give you a heads up that I am giving away this bass. I'm throwing myself on the sword and giving away one of my personal basses. This is an incredible F-Bass BN5. This is one of the best examples I've ever played. It's got this beautiful ash body. It's got this finger amp in between the 2 pickups like I love. It's got a 3-piece rock maple neck. It's just an absolutely incredible bass. And we're also giving away this down here, this trickfish head, and we're also giving away a pork and pickle effects pedal as well. Now, if you want to grab your chance of winning either this bass or one of the other prizes, just go to sblgiveaway.com and you can sign up for the giveaway completely free there. I'll put the link in the description down below. Let's get into this, okay? Let's talk about the 5-string bass, and let's start with why people actually don't use the B string, the dirty truth deep dive. Number 1, and the unfortunate truth here, is that most bassists don't spend the time to learn and incorporate the B string properly. You don't want to be a 4-string bass player who feels like you've got this extra string. Let me know in the comments if you feel like if you've got a 5-string, but you actually feel like a 4-string player with this extra random string that you don't really know that well. Number 2 is that people buy it because it looks cool, or they think they should have it because now they're an intermediate bass player, right? Playing a 5-string has nothing to do with your level. In fact, you could arguably start with a 5-string bass if you wanted to, if it suited what you were searching for as a musician. Don't buy a 5-string just to look cool or because you're now an intermediate player and you're on the way to advanced. There are plenty of incredibly advanced players that still play a 4-string. And number 3 is that they just use it as a thumb rest. And if that's you, don't worry, because I'm going to be showing you how to learn the notes down here in a way that really gets fully absorbed into your musical self. So you can use it and be confident, right? You can use that B string and make it sound awesome. Number 4 is it's actually harder to mute cleanly, okay, on a 5-string bass. So if your technique isn't super solid yet, I would actually stick on a 4-string, make sure you get your muting technique together in terms of your plucking hand muting. Then when you've got that down, then you can, move on to a 5-string bass and start experimenting with it. If your muting is all over the place on a 4-string bass, it's just going to be like pouring lighter fluid on the fire, okay? And your technique is the thing that's going to get set on fire, okay? So make sure you've got solid technique before moving to a 5-string. And then the 5th reason why you shouldn't get a 5-string yet is that if you're not willing to put the work in, because there is definitely some work. I don't want you to be a 5-string bass owner who's actually a 4-string player, okay? If you get a 5-string, I think that you should put the time and effort in to learn it correctly because it's awesome. Let me give you 5 reasons why you actually should play or consider playing a 5-string bass. Number 1 is the extended range. Obviously, you've got all of these extra notes. Well, not all of these extra notes. You've only got 1, 2, 3, 4. You've only got 5 extra notes, okay? So it's worth bearing in mind that you've not got a gazillion, extra notes. But these notes down here can be incredibly powerful, especially when you're playing in a band, and especially in the keys of E flat, D, D flat, C, and B, right? The B string is golden in those keys. For instance, many of you might have played Stevie Wonder's Superstition in the past, right? You'll know that it's in the key of E flat. Now, if we were doing this on a 4-string bass, this is our lowest E flat right here on the A string of the 6th fret. So if we want to just groove there on the E flat, we haven't got a lower E flat. Now, famously, Nate Watts in the original actually tuned his bass down so he could get that low E flat. But what happens if you don't want to start tuning your bass down? I certainly don't want to start tuning my bass down, right? So that means on a 4-string, this is going to be our lowest E flat. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to play the track for you. I'm going to groove away on this E flat, and then a little way through, I'm then going to move down to this lower E flat so you can get a sense of what an extended range of the B string might give you, the power that it can bring to a groove. Check this out. Stevie comes in with the keys, and then we're going to hit that E flat. But on a 4-string bass, this is our lowest E flat. We could do this. Check it out. But check this out, bringing that low B. Oh. It's just so much more weight, isn't it? It's like an angry lion growling at you, but in E flats. Okay, so it's incredible for this extended range down here. And in a live situation, it's just a beautiful thing. Now, number 2 is less position shifting. And I actually had a gig just a couple of weeks ago, and it had this really cool run in it. It was like a big band gig. And the run went something like this. And because I was playing a 5-string on the gig, I could do it all within that one area. If I was playing a 4-string, I need to get from here to here. It's just a bit more of a pain in the arse, right? It's not that you can't do it, but doing it here is super easy, and it all falls under the fingers, okay? Now, number 3 is versatility in modern genres, like, for instance, gospel or certain types of metal, R&B. Some styles of music just really heavily rely on that low B bottom end. And in some situations, you just actually simply require a 5-string bass because the bass parts have been written for a 5-string bass. 2 situations jump to mind that I've had conversations I've had recently. Number 1 with Ian King. Shout out to Ian King, one of the greatest bass players in the West End, which over here is our version of Broadway. He has to play a 5-string because so many of those parts have been written for a 5-string bass. And then the other example is Ian Martin Allison of SBL. He's recently got the gig with Ben Rector, and he's out there doing shows right now, and he has to have a 5-string for that gig because the parts were written for a 5-string bass. All that to say that sometimes it's not even your choice, okay? Sometimes it's not your choice. You just need a 5-string for the gig. Now, number 4 reason, the 4th reason why you might want to check out and play a 5-string bass is alternate tunings or down-tuned songs. The guitar players tune that E string down to a low D, so down a full step. And as bass players, if we've got a 4-string and we want to play the same riff, okay, which is, what we do a lot of the time, we actually have to do the same. We have to tune down that E string to a D. I don't enjoy doing it because that means all of the notes on the E string change. I don't know what's going on. All of the cool patterns I've learned don't work anymore. So it's really cool to use a 5-string in that situation. I remember being in a band at school and we had to learn Freedom by Rage Against the Machine. I'll play you in 1 second. Great riff, one of my favorite Rage Against the Machine riffs. And I had a 4-string bass and I had to drop the D tune in. And then after that song, I had to tune up for the next song. I didn't have a drop D tune. And I can remember when I got a 5-string bass and all of that stress about drop D tunings went away. And I could do it like this. What a riff, right? Now, number 5, in terms of why you might want to consider getting a 5-string bass, is that it's going to help you grow as a bass. It's going to push you into new territory. It's going to be exciting. And if you spend the time to learn it correctly, which hopefully I'm, communicating it, that it's important to do. So if you spend the time and effort to learn it correctly, it is a bunch of fun. So there are the 5 reasons you should consider getting a 5-string bass. Now, next up, I want to share an exercise that I wish somebody had shared with me a long time ago. It's knowing where the notes are, but to the point where if somebody says C, you know exactly where it is, right? Or if somebody says F, you know exactly where it is. If you had a bass and somebody said, play an F, you might go straight to that F, right? But I want you to be able to instantly go there, or B flat, or E flat, D flat, I want you to instantly know where it is on this B string. As bass players, we generally think about bottom note up, okay? If you think about a G arpeggio, you probably think about that G and then visualize going up, okay? That's exactly what we want to be like on a 5 string. So this is where this exercise comes in, and I call it paired fourths, where you're taking a couple of notes, right, which exist a fourth apart, and you're just grooving around them. You want to actually focus in on just 2 notes at a time, a fourth apart. The 2 notes I want you to begin with are C. There's your C down here on the B string, and your F. Okay, so C and an F. 2 notes a fourth apart, C and an F. But I don't want you to play the F here. I want you to play the F here on the 6th fret of the B string. I like to put on a groove. I've actually just got this SBL groove trainer. If you search it or find it, SBL groove trainer, I'll also put a link to it in the description. All I'm going to do is play a groove, and you can make up the groove yourself. I'm going to use this pattern, okay? So C, the 5th, the flat 7, and the C. So I call it the box shape because it's like a little box. Or a triangle, actually. Anyway, so I'm just going to improvise with that shape, okay? But I'm really focusing on where the C is, and the F is going to be here. So just do that right now. Find out where these are. So C and F is the first pair. Going to get on the groove. And we're going to say the notes as we play them. Just the root notes, okay? 2, a 3, a 4, a C. C. F. C. And I would just go around that and try and be creative and groove and say that C to F to C to F and go round and round, okay, until you get that locked in. And again, I would do that for 2 to 3 days because the repetition here is key. Now, once you've done that for 2 to 3 days, then you want to take another pair of fourths. Let's go with E and A, okay? E and A. There's the E. You could play the A there, but we're going to play it here. Okay, so E to A. Put the same groove on. And don't worry, I'm going to share the other fourths with you in a minute to focus on. It's E. To A. To E. And again, you would do that for 2 to 3 days, 10 minutes a day, and it's just going to really bake in that this is where E is. You don't have to do this anymore. You've got it right here, okay? A's here. Now, the next pair of fourths would be D to G. D to G. But in this case, you want to go D to G. To G. D. So you've got C to F or C to F. Okay, you've got E to A. You've got D to G. E flat. Again, these are more pairs. E flat to A flat. And then D flat to G flat. And once you've got those down and spent 10 minutes a day, 2 to 3 days on each pair, just along with a groove, you are going to know those notes better than 99% of 5-string owners. Don't make yourself a 5-string owner, make yourself a 5-string player. There's a difference, okay? We want to know the notes on that B string. Let's do this incredible instrument some justice and learn it correctly, okay? Then we can get on that stage and boom, when the moment comes, you can drop that, onto one of the lower notes down here and it'll sound beautiful. Remember, I'm actually giving this very bass away. It's my own personal F bass BN5. These are incredibly expensive. I think they're like $8,000 or $9,000. They're also, I think there's an 18-month wait list to get one of these if you want to get one built. You don't have to wait. I will send you this one if you are the winner of the giveaway that we've got going on right now. So yeah, grab your chance of winning this. Also, I've got this bass head down here, incredible trickfish bass head. It's beautiful. I've gigged several times, more than several times on this one. I've also got the pork and pickle. We're giving all of these away this month. The link is in the description. Click that, go do the stuff, enter, or just go to sblgiveaway.com and you can grab your entry completely free. And hopefully I'll be sending this beautiful specimen of a 5-string to you. With that said, take it easy and I'll see you in the shed.